Okay, today we are playing a game on King's Row. We are in the Diamond SR range, and we'll be playing Mei and Symmetra on defense and Sombra on attack. And our current team composition is Reinhardt, Zarya, Symmetra, McCree, Lucio, Moira. So, it's pretty average. Lucio Moira is a fairly odd combination of supports. I don't feel like I see that one very frequently, but at the same time, who cares? It's not like it's bad, really. It's just unusual. Now, there's a few questions in the email, but most of them are referencing specific points in the video, so there's only one to talk about right now. Where should Symmetra be positioned? I feel like she should be played in the back line, setting up a car wash, etc., but I don't know if I should just be sitting in the back, waiting for something to happen versus trying to help my team get a glimpse. I feel like turtling up in the bank doesn't do much to help my team, so how should I be playing? So, here's, for the first, 30 to 45 seconds of the round as Symmetra, what you're really trying to do is build your ultimate, because the worst thing that can happen as Symmetra is you die before you put your ultimate down. So during the early stages of the round, you will typically stand further back because you don't want to die. So you'll set all the turrets up and all that, move back, and then throw orbs through the enemy team so that you can generate ult charge. Then once you've put your ult down, we can go do whatever we want now. Now we're free. Now we don't have to worry about dying before we put our very important ultimate down. What you're gonna do after that will kind of depend, because if the enemy team has... Because you'll have seen the enemy team comp by the point that you're able to, freely go around and do something. So by that point, if you've seen that the enemy team has, Genji, or Reaper, or Tracer, you might want to play further back and sort of try and protect your backline from, the Genji or whatever's gonna, or the D.Va, whatever's gonna come back there and try and fight them. Because you as Symmetra are good at fighting those people off, and they can't really ignore you. Because if they try and ignore you and kill the Mercy, well, you'll just fucking murder the Genji, won't you? So you can do that. If that's not really an issue for you, you can just kind of go and, fight people, really. Now, Symmetra doesn't usually get to just sort of walk into people and start fighting them, so how exactly you're gonna get in there depends on, your comp and the map and everything. Oh, excuse me, Jesus. But the first, 30-45 seconds, you usually play passively as Symmetra to build up your ultimate. And then once you've built up your ultimate, put that down, then you can kinda... It depends on how the game's going and what you're playing against as to what you do after that. But you can sit back and guard your backline, or you can just go and start trying to fight people. And if they don't respect you while you're going to try and fight them, you kill them. Now, I'm just checking real quick. To make sure the other ones aren't, general. This one's pretty general. With the upcoming Sombra nerf getting a 2-second cooldown if hack is interrupted, how should I use my hack ability? Should I use it more pensively, unlike the way I use it in this VoD, more liberally? So, I actually don't really like the change to Sombra, the hack, because I think that, the 2-second hack, lockout from taking any damage makes it too awkward to use in an actual fight, because that's how, Sombra is, right? The hacking people is usually more impactful than, shooting people. But if you, there's a lot of random damage that flies around in this game, so I really don't actually like that nerf. I think it makes it too obstructive to actually play Sombra. But, because you have to use it more pensively, yeah, because now you can't just kind of say the way it is now, you can't just kind of brute force it, right? If you're fighting a Tracer, you can just kind of keep going until eventually she doesn't hit you, right? Now you have to actually, wait until she starts reloading and then hack her or something like that, right? It does punish you for using it badly now. Basically, it makes it really hard to use in a fight, and that's the only real difference, because if it's prior to the fight starting, you can just come at them from an unexpected angle and hack them from behind, and then they probably won't react in time to interrupt you anyway, unless somebody else sees you coming as well. So, it doesn't necessarily matter before the fight starts, but once the fight actually starts, you do need to actually be more careful, because the 2 seconds is a long fucking time in this game, right, to get locked out of using an ability. This is why Sombra's hack is really fucking strong. It has even longer than that, and you can't use any abilities. So, prior to the fight starting, probably doesn't really affect how you actually use hack. You gotta be kind of careful that people don't see you, like if you're coming up behind that Reinhardt to hack him. You gotta kind of be more careful that people don't see you coming, but like, it won't affect that very much. When you're actually in a fight, you'll have to actually like kind of go out of your way to find cover, or like maybe, or like disengage, come back around, hack somebody from behind. You know, you'll have to get more creative when you're actually fighting, when you're actually like in a fight with somebody. But prior to the fight starting, you should be able to use it basically the same way. It shouldn't really make much difference. It's really the in-fight that will be the more difficult time to use Sombra's hack. Though if you're in like a really big team fight, hopefully you've got your ultimate, right? And the rest of these are referencing specific points in the game. I will try to remember these as they are actually happening, which I have a tendency to be very bad about, but if we forget, we can always come back, because there's timestamps. Let me just put it so I can see it. Okay. Alright, let's start the game. So, we're on the console, by the way, today. I don't think I said that. We're on the PS4, just so you know.
Do you have a sim?
So they have a Symmetra as well, apparently. Spooky. So, they don't have a Winston. Good day. Good day for us as Symmetra. So really, all we're concerned with right now is building our ultimate. We're already really close to building our ultimate. 2 of them died, so there's not really much concern. Even if we do die now, we'll probably get back to put it down for the fight anyway, frankly. Like, but ideally we don't die, but they did not initiate that fight very well, and they basically immediately got killed. We now have 90% of our ultimates, so we're basically the entire way there. Oh look, one of them changed to Winston. How shocking. We got our ult. Alright, we want to go put that down post-haste. Nope, don't eat, just go put it down. As soon as you got that, you want to go put it down somewhere. Alright, we're now going to go put it down. So, what's the enemy team right now? Do they have somebody that can actually, like, come and break this realistically? They have Sombra and Winston. So, Sombra's kind of spooky, but, Winston, like, he takes so long to break the teleporter, it's not a concern. I like that we actually turn and point the teleporter towards where people will want to be going when they come out. Because, oh, I fucking hate nothing more than coming out of the teleporter and I'm running back to my spawn after I come out of it. It upsets me a lot when Symmetra players do that. Anyway, so we put it down, we put a couple turrets down there to defend it, and now we're coming out here to try and fight people. We've gone past one of them. It was at 158. We're going to go back before we get too far away. Oh my goodness. Look, I have a very short attention span, alright? So this question is, whenever I get stuck in a hectic situation like at 158, I get very lost and I don't know how to properly handle the situation. I feel like my beam just targets whatever and I can't target anyone long enough to kill them. How should I engage during a team fight as Sim? The idea is that you want to try and, like, squeeze past the front line and start, like, chewing through their back line, basically. Because, I mean, you can chew through a tank really fucking fast as well. But the ideal situation is that you find a way to slip past the enemy team and get to their back line, and then, because like we see Moira's back here right now, and their team are kind of pushing in this way. So if they like kind of all walk past us, like if their tank line and start coming over here, we can try and like mosey over here and start trying to like murder Moira. And I mean, you can fucking chew through a tank as well as Symmetra once you build up your beam. But ideally, you can kind of like squeeze past and like find the back line and just start murdering them. Because it doesn't take very long for you to chew your way through the entire back line if the enemy team doesn't actually peel back to try and help them. So that's like the ideal situation. Symmetra, I mean, you can still kill tanks, so it's gonna, if you don't think you can get to the back line because of whatever reason, there's a McCree back there babysitting them, one of the tanks is actually like kind of in the way and you'd have to like push through Reinhardt to get to them. Don't bother, but like, ideally you can slip past them. If you can't slip past them, just start chewing through whichever tank you can get at. And as well, Symmetra has certain people that she's really good at killing, right? Like, she's really good at killing D.Va, she's really good at killing Genji. So if you see those people, you really want to, like, hard focus them, really, because then you'll make them sad, but that's the basic idea of the team fight. You want to try and get to the back line and just chew through them. Kind of like their Symmetra's doing right now, but we don't have our front line here either, so... Haven't gone past it, right? No, of course I haven't gone past it. That wouldn't make any sense in context. So we don't take the teleporter. McCree's managed to fend off the fight. Oh no, they're all dead, which we took the teleporter now. Oh no, we ran out of charges. Never mind. I thought we elected to not take the teleporter. We ran out of charges. Well, they broke it. Whatever. Look. I'm not good at paying attention, as we've already covered. So anyway, we've managed to get our way through. Now, here it says, I tried to set up at the choke again and end up getting killed, 327. Should I have simply not tried to set up there and set up on the point instead? So let's go back a little bit and look at the situation. So we see that half our team are dead. Because of the way King's Row is, the spawn advantage is very much on the attacking team's side for the first checkpoint. So coming up here to try and reset is scary because they're going to be coming back in a few seconds, and our team are still far away because our spawn's miles away compared to theirs. So coming up to the checkpoint, to the choke point right here is scary, and yeah, basically no, we don't want to do that because their spawn they have such a spawn advantage over us. We'd be better off just kind of like putting some in here basically to try and like guard this way and then set up around the point. Then, once our team regroups, and if we start gaining some momentum, which clearly we weren't going to fucking do, were we? Like, look at this shit, we weren't going to win shit. But we should play more passively until our team regroups, and then once our team regroups, we can start if our team regroups and we win the fight, then we can go set up around the choke point again. But because we don't have, they have the initiative on us right now because they have the spawn advantage, so you have to play more passively in that position because they come around the corner, you're fucking dead. So that's the end of the Symmetra segment right now. We'll be playing Mei for the rest of the defense, and then Sombra for the entire attack. There is nothing in the email specifically about Mei, but it is pointed out that we're very bad at depth perception in the game, so the walls are really wild sometimes. Fair enough. So, anyway, it's a pretty good map for Mei, really, because there is basically the one main thoroughfare, and quite a few places you can cut people off. Also, the area is quite confined, so Blizzard tends to be quite scary in these areas. We're currently being very sneaky, coming around here to clear out all these turrets that were in some very weird locations, but whatever. We're having a good old beam fight now. I can't wait for that Moira change to come in, where the particle effects are going to be more transparent as they get closer to you, because, oh my god, is it hard to see through the two Moira beams when they're going right past each other, plus everything else that's happening at the time. Basically, we just kind of win this fight. They used a bunch of ultimates to capture the first checkpoint, which, I mean, fair play. If you gotta use 5 ultimates to get the checkpoint, whatever, just take the checkpoint. It's definitely worth it. Because the entire point is to capture the checkpoint. But because they used a bunch of them over there, they don't really have anything to keep the initiative going, or the momentum going, rather. So it makes it much easier for us to win this fight. So, we see they have a Sombra. They have Sombra Symmetra, so weird team comp. We should be, like, really looking for their Symmetra, because we don't want their Symmetra to, like, chew through our backline, basically. And similarly to Symmetra, Mei is really good at fucking up people who are trying to kill your backline, right? Because, yeah, they come in, they try and sneak their way through, and you freeze them, and then you bully them. So I think we're looking... Here we go, here's the shield generator. We really don't want to get... oh god, oh no, oh no. Oh, she's nearly dead. Alright, no problem, no problem. Oh, there's car wash, alright. So... I'm not really bothered that we took so long to do this, because I didn't point it out at the time, but a few seconds ago, Reinhardt pinged that he had Earth Shatter, and Zarya was at like 87% having Graviton as well. So they probably don't need us to help win the team fight, honestly, so we can kind of spend more time going over here to clear out Symmetra. Because they're going to be fighting, like, 5v5 or 5v4, but we have, like, 2 big money ultimates, so... I'm not really bothered that took us so long to do, because we had, like, really big ultimates to use on the team fight over there while we're dealing with Symmetra. Usually it is really bad to remove yourself from a team fight for as long as we took, but because of the ult advantage we had, because also don't forget they just spent all their ultimates as well, it's not such a big deal. So we now see they have a Reaper. Reaper is also somebody that we are very interested in bullying as Mei. Is it Symmetra that changed to Reaper? No. So, they've only got one support. Man, if we can kill this Moira, they're fucked. So, you know, we're trying to look for Reaper, and we're going to be trying to look for Symmetra, because these are the two people that, like, are going to just kind of... They're very immobile, so they can't really get around our wall, right? And they're going to be trying to get back here to kill these people, so we just decide, no, don't want that to happen. Plus anybody else that we can pick off and kill as well. Like, Mei always has this just general thing that she's trying to do, where she's trying to cut somebody off and kill them, but we really want to make sure that, like, Symmetra and Reaper don't get to just walk into our backline and start chewing through people. Because Mei's really good at fucking up people who want to do that, especially immobile heroes. So now we're pretty fucked, right? We are hacked in the Graviton. It's one of those things where if it happens to you, you aren't meant to win, right? There are certain things that when they happen to you, you can't really be upset they happen to you because you're not meant to win if it happens, right? Genji comes in with Nano Blade, you're meant to die. You're meant to die to that, right? There's not much you can do about it. There's not nothing you can do about it, but there's very little you can do about it. So Reinhardt is as staggered as he can possibly be, which is less than ideal. This is very greedy. Like, honestly, I'm not even that bothered we did it. We just didn't use cryo freeze quickly enough. That's what the ability's called, right? The ice block. No, is it ice block? Yes, ice wall, ice block. Right. Ice block is also like a WoW and Hearthstone thing, so I was like, is it? No. So, like, we had it. Yeah, we had it. We just didn't use it quickly enough and got killed. We do catch, like, a lot... Oh my god, Zarya almost saved that person because she pushed him out of the ultimate. Now, the ult was pretty good, but we didn't survive. Reinhardt dying like that is also really inconvenient, but, like... Oh, that did a little bit of a stutter. So they captured that checkpoint anyway. I'm not even that bot. Like, a 5v6 with a big ultimate like Blizzard there is not that unlikely to work out, honestly. Being one person down if you've got ultimates is not a big deal, and they just use so many ultimates as well. We just didn't use Ice Block quickly enough, so we die. Feels bad. It was almost enough anyway, but not quite. I'm sure I don't need to point out the walls, so we won't go over those in agonizing detail. So they've only got a minute left, and they've got, like, one team fight left in them. Now, they're probably getting close to having some ultimates. Well, Zarya's probably not very close. Sombra could be close to having Hack at this point. Symmetra was not allowed to do that. I hate Mei's punch, you know, the way she... She's gonna break her fucking wrist doing that. Like, I hate the way she... Like, I get she's a fucking scientist, but, like, she's gotta have at least seen a fucking action movie. What action movie do they do the fucking waving cat motion to punch people, right? Anyway. So we've walled off a bunch of people. Our Zarya is using her ultimate, so, you know, they're basically pretty fucked right now. So they've only got one fight left now. There's some Sombra might have her ultimate, Zarya might be close to having her ultimate, but, like, this is their last fight. And they've got to take it so far away. If we can cut somebody off as they're coming through this passage, like, they are truly fucked, basically. And this is, like, the way they're gonna come. We're really close to having Blizzard as well. Basically, this is the point where you're like, nah, we basically got it. Like, we basically got it. So Sombra did have her ultimate, and, we didn't get in the... They didn't graviton us. Oh, Reaper spam. Fair enough. Alright, so that's sad. Now, Reinhardt is dragging this death out for as long as possible. Like, look at that. He died right as we were respawning. And he's got Earth Shatter. It's not okay. Don't prolong your death. This is the worst possible time you can prolong your death, because, like, this is the last fight. And you die, you just drag your death out like that for, like, you're gonna die. Like, in that position, you know you're gonna die. You just drag it out, and now look at this. We're out here fighting while he's still respawning. Now, we do have Blizzard. Blizzard's probably good enough in this situation, because also, don't forget, they gotta touch the objective or they're gonna die. So, Or they're gonna lose, right? They're not gonna die. They gotta jump. I mean, you know, if you die in the game, you die in real life. So, like, honestly, Blizzard's good enough. And it has this effect on people where nobody really wants to be the one that has to stand, has to stand in the Blizzard on the objective and die so that they don't lose the round, right? Like, nobody wants to be the one that does that. So people tend to just kind of fucking scatter immediately. So let me just bring this up so I can look at... Let me just bring this up so I can look at the Sombra stuff as time's going on. We should kind of... We should kind of already be addressing this one. Did we... Okay. So, the question here is, from a more practical standpoint, was Sombra a good pick to choose in that team comp? I worry often that Sombra won't do enough damage, and our team comp didn't seem like it would have enough damage. If that is the case, what is a better alternative? So, I'm not really concerned about not doing enough damage with this team comp, because, like, Tracer does a lot of damage. Moira does damage, Lucio's gonna be doing damage, Winston and Zarya are gonna be doing damage. Yeah, like, nobody's doing, like, big money damage, but, like, everybody here does damage, and Sombra doesn't do terrible damage, right? Especially after they buffed the spread on her gun, it's a lot easier to do damage now. So, like, I'm not really concerned about it from a damage standpoint. Now, what I would be concerned about, is basically if they pick... Pharah, that's going to be trouble for us to deal with because we don't have anything that's really good at killing Pharah. Like, Moira, Winston, and Sombra can all kind of do something about Pharah, but, like, we don't have anything that's, like, really, really good against Pharah, so I'd be concerned about that. I'd be concerned about, also if they pick, like, a shieldy, bastion-y, turtle-y comp, right? Because... like, we can kind of kill that with our team comp, but we gotta execute really well. Like, we gotta, like, go in together. So I'm not really concerned about it from a damage standpoint. I would be more concerned about, like, if they got a lot of shields, we won't be very good at breaking those. And if they got a Pharah, we don't have, like, a reliable method to kill Pharah, other than, like, hack Pharah, I suppose, in which case she is pretty fucked now. I'm not really... the damage, I'm not that concerned about. Like, this whole team does damage, and... like, really, you don't need to do, like... people worry about this more than they have to, right? Because what people tend to do is they just look at the DPS, and they go, oh, Tracer and Sombra don't do that much damage. I mean, Tracer does do a lot of damage. It's not, like, Soldier consistent damage, but, like, she does damage. But then, like, I look at it, I'm like, all of the people on this team comp are going to be doing damage, right? Like, everybody on this team is actively trying to hurt people. So, even if the two DPS are, like, lower DPS, because the other 4 people are still trying to do damage, it's not such a big deal. Like, suppose if we changed, like, Moira with Mercy, then I'd actually be more concerned about it, because then we have one person who is doing no damage to the enemy team, right? And nobody even good to damage boost. And if, like, Winston was Reinhardt, I'd be concerned about it as well, because Reinhardt would have trouble getting in and doing damage with a team that's going to be as spread out as this one is. So, like, this comp I'm not concerned about, because everybody's trying to do damage. If, like, you changed 1 or 2 things about it, I would be a little bit more concerned about it damage-wise, but... so, but if you were going to pick a different hero here, basically I'd say Soldier is, like, the best thing, or, like, McCree that you could pick, because... they deal with the things that I would be concerned about. Now, the other thing as well is, right, they had a Symmetra on attack, they're going to have a Symmetra on defense. That's just how their life is going to be. It's one of those things. If you see somebody defending on Genji the entire time, they're going to attack with Genji, right? If somebody's attacking with Symmetra, they're going to keep playing Symmetra. So we know that's going to be one member of their team. So, Pharah isn't a super popular pick on defense anyway. There's no reason you can't pick some Pharah on defense, but people tend to hesitate to do so. And so it's not that much of a concern. The biggest concern would be, like, if they've got a bunch of shields. Like, we aren't very good at breaking shields. But I'm not really concerned about it with that team comp. So, they got a turret. That's actually, like, really bad for Sombra after the nerf, right? Because the shield, the turret just hitting you while you're trying to hack somebody is gonna be real sad. So they also have a Pharah, so I'm concerned about that as well. So they do actually have, like, all of the things I would be concerned about. Torbjorn turret broken, don't have to be concerned about that one anymore. Reinhardt's decided he doesn't want to live anymore, right? Like, he's just decided he's gonna die, so that's cool. What's the timestamp on that? 12:07? We're really close, don't forget. So now, Torbjorn's dead. Now, we don't really have to worry about it that much. I would actually prefer to hack Pharah over Mercy. Because, yeah, Mercy can't use GA, she'll die. Like, honestly, like, if Pharah can't fly, Mercy's gonna die regardless, right? So it's like, it's one of those things that when you think about it, it's like, Mercy, yeah, we hack Mercy, she can't use GA. If you hack Pharah, Pharah's not in the sky, so Mercy doesn't have anything good to GA to anyway. So if you hack Pharah in that situation, you also effectively hack Mercy. So they both, instead of Pharah kind of like slipping away like this, she's just like on the ground writhing, and then we kill her and Mercy. Because Mercy has nobody to go to if Pharah can't fly. We capture the checkpoint regardless, so it doesn't matter, but if you're trying to deal with the Pharah and the Mercy, and they're kind of out of the way, hack Pharah. Mercy can't get away as well easily anyway. So we hack the Reinhardt really right there. He's upset about that. We haven't gone past it yet. This is the last timestamp I have to kind of keep an eye about. So now she's fucking upset about that one. That's the reason to play Sombra right there, is for like that moment. So sometimes I throw in my translocator in really ballsy places where it almost results in my death, especially 12:07. Is a risk like that necessary to stop an ult like Coalescence? Not for Coalescence, no. Coalescence isn't very scary, honestly. Like, you can kind of just sort of sit out of the way and not be so concerned about it. What would a really ballsy ultimate play like this be warranted for? Genji. If you hack Genji when he uses Dragon Blade, that really fucks up his Dragon Blade because he can't use the dash, and that's most of what Dragon Blade is based off of, dash resetting. So if you were hacking like that, that's kind of it, really. I'm trying to think of another one that I would be prepared to like throw myself into the enemy team to try and stop. No, I can't think of another one, really. Like, that like... It's like Reinhardt Earth Shadows you, right? You can just, like... maybe Whole Hog. If you were in a certain kind of setup, I might do it for Whole Hog. Because if, like, he's pinning my whole team against a wall or something like that, or he's been nano-boosted. Ah, that's the one. If Roadhog's been nano-boosted and he's using Whole Hog, I would definitely do it then to try and stop him. There are not that many ults that, like, kind of require that kind of chuck yourself in and sacrifice yourself to try and stop, really. Coalescence is definitely not that one. Like, Coalescence is like a 6 out of 10 ult. Like, it's sometimes it fucks you up, but it's rarely the Coalescence itself that's the issue. So we throw ourselves in and hack everybody. Nice. That's how you play Sombra, right there. Then we hack Mercy as well, so she can't res Reinhardt, which is really sad for them. And, yeah, like, when you hack people, feels bad for them, huh? So, no, it's not usually worth, like, that kind of risk, because there are not that many ultimates that are, like, you can't realistically do it for something like that, so... Tracer is, she's sneaking right now, she's creeping over there, she is fucking ready. I think I had a point that I was building up to, but I've forgotten what it was. Couldn't have been that important then, could it? Nah. So, Moira's just died, very staggered, because we were all reinforcing right as she died, so this is, like, maximum time wasted, stagger bad. We messed up our translocator, feels bad. They are in the Graviton. They've been pulse bombed. Oh, they're pretty fucked right now. Who do we hack? Who do we hack out of here? Somebody in there? Whoever we hacked in there, like, it was in Roadhog. It's not worth hacking them, really. Hacking somebody in the Graviton is, like, kind of overkill, really, right? Like, you know, if they get pulled into the Graviton and you got Emp, like, that's a different matter. You just use the Emp, sure. But, like, hacking one person in the Graviton is, like, overkill in that kind of situation, because who the fuck is gonna get out of that Graviton alive, right? Like, I guess it's not impossible Roadhog slinks away, but it's not really realistic, is it? So you're better off saving the hack to use on somebody that isn't in the graviton. Because the people in the graviton in that situation are almost certainly dead. So Reinhardt's hacked, we want him fucking dead because we can see that he's got Earth Shatter. We actually have Emp, so we could just, like, chain hack him if we're really concerned about it. But it ended up not being a concern. Oh my god, oh my fucking god. I hate it so much. I'm playing, like, Reinhardt and I got my ultimate. Hack. Then, like, 5 seconds later, Emp. Alright. Then, hack. I have been in team fights before where I've been hacked, emped, hacked again, and I'm like, oh my god, please just let me play the game. I fucking paid good money for this video game. I want to actually play it. So, sucks to suck, they got Graviton off of the payload so they can't contest it. They're basically, that's, you know, feels bad. They're getting tilted right now. I mean, let's be real, they were tilted on attack because they had a Symmetra. Oh, there's nothing worse than also, like, landing the Earth Shatter and then getting hacked, because if you can't use Fire Strike and Charge, the Earth Shatter is, like, a lot less good right afterwards. So, we're up here now. We're actually getting, like, kind of close to having Emp again. Hack Zarya. Zarya is a pretty good one to hack. It might be better to hack Roadhog, because had Zarya already used her bubbles? Like, okay, this is kind of important. This is the SR where this kind of thing matters, right? Like, did Zarya use her bubbles before we hacked her? She used that bubble before we hacked her. Did she also bubble herself? We don't know. She already used her E. Like, her cooldowns are really long. So, if you see her use one of her abilities, or both of them, it'll actually often be better to hack somebody else, because her cooldowns are like 10 seconds. So, you can, if you hack somebody and their abilities are going to come off cooldown, like, after the hack ends, it doesn't matter that you hacked them, right? So, if we see that Zarya's used a bubble or two, it might be worth hacking somebody else over the Zarya, because if Zarya doesn't have her abilities, she can't use them anyway, regardless of if she's hacked. So we've almost got Emp, whose Zarya is really far from her ultimate. Well, she's not really far, but she's pretty far. She's 65%. God, I fucking love that you can push tab and see people's ult charges now. It's like the greatest change they ever put in this game. So, people dead. We got, like, all the time in the world. Like, this is no concern. As far we got fucking 3 minutes and we haven't got to push it very far. Also, the way our team is, we've only got to get, like, one good ult in there and we win the game. Like, it's not a huge concern. Oh, we got hacked, but we got our hack interrupted. Oh, now she's gonna arrive on the ground. Alright, so now picks happened. We've got Emp, we're going in. We didn't manage to catch Moira, which is sad, but we caught their Zarya, who had her Graviton. She didn't get to use it. Moira's still alive, but it's not going to be the end of the world. We just, like, sit over here bullying her with Winston, and we win the game. Hooray. This is far, like, through the game, but also we had Graviton and Emp. You're not meant to win. You're not meant to win in that situation. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, no. Dude, he has no right. Holy. I was like, how does he pull this one off when he's in the bubble? Like, I was like, alright, he's gotta, like, charge it up really high, break it in one shot, and kill 3 people. Fun fact about how McCree's ultimate works, right? If you play McCree, this is important to know. Even once the lock-on has, like, you know how, like, the circle closes in and then there's the skull when it's gonna kill somebody? Even when the skull is there, it's still going up in how much damage it's gonna do to that person, right? It's just, it's already gonna kill the person, so. But that does matter if people are behind barriers, because the damage is still ramping up the entire time, even if it's finished locking on to the skull, it's still going up. So if you see, like, 3 people gathered behind a Reinhardt barrier, just, like, stare at them for as long as possible, like, ride out the whole duration, and then do it. Because you'll break it in 1 or 2 shots, and then the 3rd shot will kill somebody. If the first shot didn't break it, then you'll kill 2 people with it. So even though the skull is there, it is actually still going up. So Important to know if you play McCree, because that does matter if people are hiding behind barriers. So we answered every question. Yes. All right. So, nothing like huge stood out to me, and we talked about like all these questions. We talked about so many things, so I'm not going to belabor it any longer. So, thank you very much for watching if you did. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. If you felt I answered any of your questions from the email inadequately, please let me know, and I'll try to expand further. If you haven't already, you can join our Discord and ask questions more directly and have a conversation about them, and also shitpost with us. And I hope you found the video helpful.